look handsome.
Thank you.
Oscar de Leon.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to send him a letter.
That was so cool. You know, you really have to. He would be like, I mean, you guys just looks, it's so crazy.
But I think that El Bigote ties it down, though.
It ties it down, but even without that, you guys still...
Look, if I had your hair, that would have never been a discussion.
No, the features, the facial features are still there.
Yeah.
And the smile. Yeah. There's a lot there than just the bigote.
Good. Bueno, Vi, we're live.
Oh.
Not live.
We're live, yeah.
Yeah, we're recording.
We will be live.
We will.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm Rafael Cruz, and this is the Bar App Show from Miami Strength Club. And we have here Viola Jackson. How are you?
I'm fabulous, Rafa. Thank you. How are you?
I am doing good. Very excited. This is the second episode of the podcast. This is going up after many attempts to record the second one based on all that perfectionism going on. And just good. Thank you for being here today.
No, thank you for having me. I'm honored. This is a privilege for me, like huge. So thank you.
Good. I tell you what, let me talk about this tea real quick.
Do, because it is so good. And I love our tea times together.
This is orange. This is, by the way, this is just because I like this tea. There's no sales pitch or anything like that. But this is orange with cinnamon. Mm-hmm. And it's just the best.
De canela, woo!
Good stuff.
Now, if you get some chocolate in here, we'll really be cooking.
Speaking of tea, what are your kind of favorite teas?
Oh, my goodness. I actually like black tea. I like the caffeine.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest herbal tea drinker, although I know the health benefits of it. But the reality is I just like black tea. So PG tips from England, I really like that. Just, I'm simple.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I'm not big fancy, flowery and all these other flavors. I'm just real simple.
That's good. That's good. Black tea is awesome.
Yes.
You know what? I have enjoyed black tea when it's a little bit cold too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't lose
loose leaf.
Yeah, like quality. Let's put it that way. Good quality black tea.
Yeah,
you can enjoy it a little bit colder or warmer. Yeah, I like that about that.
Well, tea is like special to my heart. It's comfort. And whether it's cold or hot, it doesn't matter. But my mom, when I was a little girl, would make me tea like they do in England. She'd put honey or sugar and cream in my tea. And so every time I have a cup of tea, it's just like peace and comfort, and it's awesome.
Nice. That's really good. Before we continue going, I think I have not really made our audience aware of your background and your history. Who are you? What do you do? What kind of things you enjoy? How do you spend your days?
Oh, well, that's good, yeah, Rafa, because we just dive in wherever we are, and it's like this ongoing conversation that we've had since January 7th of last year.
Right.
And it's just a continuation of, but I am Viola Jackson, and originally from North Carolina, but I've lived all over the place, both nationally, internationally. I'm the very proud mom of two amazing adult sons, both of whom are in film school, and God willing, will graduate in the spring.
Awesome.
And so I'm really looking forward to seeing, especially with everything that's going on with media. I just have this sixth sense that people in the arena of media are going to find themselves very busy in the future for lots of different reasons. There's going to be a lot of open doors for that. And so that's exciting. If you're in media, I think you're going to find a lot of opportunities, new and different opportunities that haven't been there before. you know?
Yeah.
Because everything's changing about media right now.
It is. Look, this whole technology thing. Hey, look no further.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
look at this guy. You know, you have, tell us about the way you communicate daily with, using technology and whatnot. And look at us also here.
It's crazy.
Actually, it's not only that it's changing, it has changed.
It has changed, right.
It has changed.
It has already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I teach English online, English as a second language online to children in China every day. That's my bread and butter. I'm a life coach, so I coach people virtually through Zoom every day, and yeah, we can't be without the technology now.
Good. For anybody listening to this, where can people get you? Email, social media account or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm in the process of building my coaching business, so that's to come. It's under construction, so to speak.
Good.
But for now, I'm tasteandc34@gmail.com.
Awesome.
And that'll change in the near future. I do have my domain name, which is simply Viola Jackson International.com.
Awesome.
But it's got to it's under construction. So.
Good. Stay tuned. In the meantime, you can reach Viola Jackson at email. Again, say it again.
Taste, T-A-S-T, like taste and C-S-E-A, like the ocean down there.
Okay.
34@gmail.com.
Taste and C 34@gmail.com.
That's it.
Email her.
Yeah, for now.
Awesome. V, I have a couple of things that I've been wondering. And I was thinking that maybe through conversation we can, think together. And just let, everybody that wants to listen to this, be a part of it.
Okay.
We can all think together and maybe, we can get to our conclusions. The audience, you have been here, V has been here for about a year now.
Just over, yep.
We actually talked about that in the live that we have. It's somewhere in Instagram. For those of you who know how to use it, please teach me. Year after.
Right.
What is it for you?
Oh my gosh, Rafa. I could cry. Yeah, this has meant the world to me. This has been such a godsend for my life. And really, like, if I could put it all into one word, it would just be transformation. And it's a lot like that butterfly. It starts off as a caterpillar, and you always tell me, and I think you're keeping it from me because you just don't want to see me utterly embarrassed. But you're like, you should have seen your pictures when you first came in here. But you've yet to show those pictures to me, and I think you're trying to protect me from something. But I know I was a hot mess when I came here, physically especially. Not spiritually, I'm like on cloud nine most days, right? Emotionally, I'm pretty stable.
Good.
Would you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Very. Rock solid.
Okay, I'm solid as a rock on the emotional and spiritual, but that physical piece was a hot mess.
It does. What we're talking about, by the way, is I typically take pictures of people, when people start here in the gym. And I've been alluding to those pictures, but I haven't shared them back with you. You probably saw them at the beginning, maybe not.
Yeah.
But here is why I keep referring to those pictures. They do tell a story that has nothing to do with anybody else but you.
Right.
And that's mostly what, a little bit on a very positive, selfish note, I feel proud for you. I feel proud for you because,
Thank you.
I have that accessible every now and then, I see it when I'm browsing other pictures. And then I know your accomplishments now. And filtered by all that work.
Ooh, don't forget the setbacks.
And the setbacks. Tell us about that.
Wow. So yeah, just basically, try to keep it short and succinct, but that's part of the process, and I've never been inside of a cocoon with a caterpillar, but there must be a lot going on in that dark place.
It's a lot of movement.
And a lot of movement, just like, other things that are in dark places. A lot of movement.
A lot of movement.
Yes. And so, yeah, there's a lot of heart movement. And you see that here more than anybody, Raphael. You get to peer into the lives and the hearts and the minds and the thoughts and the words of all of your clients that you coach. And I just have to say, I don't know if it's, but yeah, your name, I've told you this over and again, but there's moments where it just really stands out to me, the fact that your name, Raphael, means the healer. And along with coaching us and training us and directing us here in the gym, there are many moments where we, as your clients and friends and family, come to you and you don't put on a stethoscope and a white jacket or anything, but you really do bring a lot of healing to our hearts just by being who you are and being an amazing listener and friend and coach. And so there's a lot of those moments in this process of getting your body where you want it to be. It's a lot more than just the physical.
For those of you listening, my head is so bubbly right now. Thank you, V. That's nice. Those really nice words.
Well, they're sincere words and truthful.
I know.
Yeah.
I received them.
Flattery.
I received them with grace, as I've learned from, our interactions very often. Let me speak a little bit to that, because that's something I mostly I'm very grateful for. That is I would say the main feeling. Everything else, it's somewhat a derivative of that. Anybody that comes in here has the ability to impact my life positively. But I also am grateful that that I can do that in reverse.
Yeah. And you do it daily.
It's a revolving cycle. It's how can I say that? Every day is an opportunity. Every day is an opportunity. Some days are capitalized very well, and you can see, and I can see, how everyone here grows or has the chance to see somebody else grow, and that's also inspiring. And I've mentioned this all the time. I'm so grateful that the people that come in here, whether they end up staying for a long time or not, they walk out with something they didn't have.
That's right.
Yeah, they walk out with something that they didn't have. Albeit strength physically, but kind of like what we're doing now, maybe some extra skills to enhance their thinking process.
That's really good.
Which is my main, ultimate, a spiritual objective.
Wow, that's good.
Thinking together, thinking for ourselves, thinking together.
Yeah, that's so good.
That's, if anything, that is the ultimate good that I can imagine. Paraphrasing Jordan B. Peterson. Yeah.
Well, that was that's good.
Yeah. That's it. Here comes the commercials.
Maybe just share a little bit about what your vision is, what your desire is, what your dream is.
Sweet. The gym is a space where people come and do training. We can equate training, physical training, with reevaluating the aspects that are holding us back physically, emotionally, mentally.
Mm.
And in many ways, it's very easy to measure progress in a physical aspect. But and that is the only thing, let's put it that way, that I can sell, because I can measure it. And from a business standpoint, that's you can monetize the value of that. But that's not the only ingredient
Right.
in that process, which is, let's say, my vision for the people that come here is for them to actually aspire to be better. A better version of what they can imagine is good for them. And that guides the training.
Right.
Typically, when I've seen that shift, I'll give you a couple of examples actually now.
Okay.
I've seen the shift that entails, first and foremostly, beginning to show up, kind of like having the faith, and then beginning to believe that the process is actually working, and that it will be an avenue to be able to accomplish change. So here's a couple of examples. There's a kid that comes here, sweet kid, 30-something years old, hard gainer.
So funny you say kid, but he's 30 and you're like 32. But anyway.
Hard gainer, hard for him to put muscle on. We fiddle around the first 2 months with the programming, reps and sets and this and that. But, at some point it's like, it's not the training. We thought it's not what you're doing in the gym that's holding you back. We sat down, we just realized he was not eating enough for various reasons. And you know what I typically say to most people that want to gain? It's like, eat more than you think you want to.
Yeah, you even told me that.
Yeah. Truly, most of us at certain periods undereat.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, or maybe something more obscure than that, or less, or more settled. We think we're having enough nutrition, but we're not there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is a little bit of a different analysis.
Right.
But going back to
your example,
the example, my hard gainer guy, he started eating more. We started supplementing. Protein shakes here, protein bars there. Guess what? He's gained about 17 pounds.
Wow.
Not only that, he doesn't know this, but if you listen to the podcast, you'll know who you are. Your triceps are becoming the envy of the gym, including some of the bigger guys.
Ooh. Wow.
I want to have my triceps like
so-and-so.
So-and-so.
Wow. Nice.
So, and let me tell you, this guy, this sweet guy, he shows up here day in, day out.
Yeah.
Before work, after work, during work. And what else can I want for somebody than to do that? Because that is not only about the physical stuff.
Right. It affects every area of his life.
But it's including unintendedly side how do you call this? Unintended consequences or unforeseen also social status.
Well, no, and here's the thing, Rafa, the one word that we haven't really talked about before, you and I, but what's coming in my mind right now is the value that you are adding to each person as a coach. Ultimately, first of all, you sit down and you find out, you listen and you find out, what do you want? You never, came at me with, this is what you need. And I've never seen you approach anybody like that, which is amazing, because there are gyms that, you go in, they assess you and they tell you what you need.
That's why I got out of big gyms.
Okay. So that's number one right there, because already you talked about showing up and then believing, but that takes motivation. And so behind that motivation, there has to be ownership. It's like, it's got to be something I want. I can't do it because you want me to, or it has to be my why. And you take the time to find that out. What is your why? And you amaze me, because you log these little details into that amazing mind of yours. And you don't forget those little details about each one of us, which I find that fascinating. and I know this by experience, because you'll pull something out of a hat and use that to push me forward or to propel me forward, or you know what I mean? I've experienced that firsthand, and that's really awesome. But the thing about it is that each time we show up, what you are doing ultimately is giving us confidence, because you believe in us and you listen to us, you give us enough of what we need as far as instruction and guidance and all that stuff, but really just being there. And there's just little things. I'm going to say, just for myself, one word that you said that was a game changer, because I hit a wall a few times. You've seen tears come out of my eyes a few times, probably, just because there's those moments where you're just like, this is not working. And you're just like freaking out, At least I have freaked out. And when I've hit that wall, I remember one time right here, you said this word to me. You said, just be consistent. And because I was like, okay, this was during a setback. Not even I can't move forward, but it's like, okay, I feel like somebody just like punched me in the stomach and I fell 10 feet backwards.
Wow.
And in that moment, you said, just stay consistent. And I grabbed a hold of that word, and I was like, okay, that's all I can do right now, is I'm just going to be consistent, and I'm just going to trust that you know what you're talking about. And that was all I really had to hold on to in that moment, along with, of course, my faith in Jesus. But sometimes he wants to speak through a person to us, and you were that person in that moment for me. So thank you for the confidence, because without, confidence affects every area of your life, financially, relationally, in your workplace, with your children. I mean, you have to have confidence to do anything, to accomplish anything.
Absolutely. That's whether we realize it or not.
Yeah.
And I tell you, one of the things that have affected me, and I have started pretty much in a joke with the perfectionism of getting this podcast forward, and it actually boils down to confidence too, in a certain light.
It's been your process of
right.
Do I have the confidence to do it?
Right. But the one thing about confidence that we necessarily it doesn't come forward as clearly as we think is the know-how part.
The competence.
The
you
competence.
Gotta have that. That helps a lot.
And that is why, maybe to the boredom of some people that end up not staying, to see the process through. That's why, the fundamentals, I drive them down to nausea. Because it is through that process where confidence gets rooted.
Yeah.
In not only not superficially, not in a superficial way. I'm talking about long-term, lifelong strength gains.
Yeah.
Body recomposition.
Yeah.
Muscle gain. You see people that like our nice boy. You know, he
Yeah.
gained 17 pounds. That's life altering
Yeah.
of muscle.
Or how about somebody like me who in high school, I wanted to run track. I have a track body, but I would have shin splints like literally every time I would try to work out. And so I just gave up on the whole concept. And here I am. I'm not ashamed of my age. I'm 56 years old.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And suddenly, out of the nowhere, I have said out of my own mouth all my life, I can't run. I'm not a runner. I have shin splints, or I get shin splints whenever I run. I can't. I've said that my whole life. Now I'm like close to 3 miles running already.
Wow, already?
Yeah, and it's like just becoming natural for me. And my legs are like, I have no pain in my legs after I run, or even while I'm running. And I'm like, who are you? Like, how is this even happening? And I know where this is coming from. It could only be from one place, and that's the strength that I have in my legs now that I didn't have before. There's no logical other reason or explanation that this should be happening at this stage in my life.
Right.
And that I enjoy it.
Well, that is huge.
And want to actually get up and go do it. Like, that's insane.
You actually have kind of shocked me.
Myself.
Because I know you have been running here and there, but you're up to
3 miles.
3 miles.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, God gets all the glory. We know that, but wow.
Good. Well, let me just take some pause and.
Yeah, because I told you, like, when I first started, for those of you that, maybe you've never gone through this type of body transformation process with weightlifting specifically, my legs used to feel like dead weights to me. And I would walk up the stairs and it was like carrying dead weight. And I always use that example in that one movie. I think it's An Officer and a Gentleman with Cuba Gooding when he's in that space suit, that underwater suit.
Yeah.
And he's in the courtroom and he's like that's how my legs used to feel to me.
Oh my
without exaggerating. Yeah.
Well,
and now I have what you call the perky step?
The perky step. For those of you who are wondering, a perky step is something that I've noticed on myself and UV, yes. And also pretty much anyone who stays here for about 2 or 3 months, mm-hmm. is that, we start walking slightly different, especially if you come, yeah. Right, if you're starting from scratch or starting from a time of layoff for months or years, mm-hmm. you go through 3 months of squatting 2 or 3 times a week and deadlifting and benching and a couple of other movements, and let me tell you, yeah. You move differently.
And
you know that you're moving differently. Yeah, you feel it. You can feel it.
Oh, yeah. And I could talk for hours on the moving differently part, because I told you, I felt like an 80-year-old woman when I first came to you as far as movement goes of my body, the aches and pains that I had in my body. And some of you who are even younger than I am, I've heard people younger than myself complain of aches and pains in their body, and for me, it was my neck, my shoulders, my hips. Were like, I was literally on the verge of thinking, okay, I'm eventually going to have a hip replacement. This is so bad. That was the pain. And lower back pain. I mean, dead weight legs, the whole thing, Rafa. And I don't have, by the grace of God, I don't have those aches and pains anymore. And it's just crazy. And the beautiful thing about weightlifting, I have to put this plug in too, is it actually doesn't hurt. It's the only exercise I've ever found that you walk out of the gym with no soreness. You wake up with no soreness. That's a miracle to me. Like, if you've ever done aerobics or Zumba or whatever you can think of, there's always pain involved.
Yeah. That, you know what? I'm so glad you said that, because I was wondering how to bring that into the conversation.
That's real. That's real talk right there.
But that has to do. Actually, let me go and make it clear now that I became a student of a method called starting strength, who has been developed by Mark Ripito from the Starting Strength, the Asgard company, I believe. And I've taken some of their courses, been to the seminar, and do a lot of the things that people that appreciate the method for its tremendous value.
Yeah.
I don't feel it's a conflict of interest to pump them up. What they've put out there is amazing.
Amazing.
Right. Amazing. I practice the best version that I can of the starting strength method. Knowing what I know and having studied what I've done through their methods. But the programming aspect, the way they have published programming books, it has made all the difference. Because what you mentioned there, essentially not being sore. That has to do with understanding how a human body works. And I'm not talking about, rocket science. I'm talking about just on the very simple rhythms of recovery. The stress recovery adaptation cycle, where the exercise becomes a stressful, positive but stressful way of jerking the body into a reaction. In this case, the reaction we're expecting is strength, or the adaptation, you can say that. But we allow the body to recover, meaning you coming here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you have 24 hours, a little bit more than 24 hours to recover in between. And that typically, when that is applied appropriately on an individual basis, people are not sore. They're not deeply sore for 48 hours or anything like that.
Not at all.
And that is the kind of physical intervention that we put here. And I say intervention with caution, because it has nothing to do with medicine or any it's not intended to treat or intervention. Right. It's just the ways in that the body can be used and be put through exercises, and that's the outcome. So that is experience of many people. I'm glad it is for you, because otherwise it's not sustainable.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. I mean, the reality is all those other exercises that I've ever signed up for, why am I not still there? Because, one morning you woke up and you were like, I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't feel like going to work out, or, I need more days to recover. And 2 days turns into 4 days, turns into 6 days. Okay, I'll just take a week off.
Yeah, I'll restart next week.
But you remember, your mind remembers that place of pain, and you're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm trying to do that again.
That is very, that is very, very real and not trivial, actually. It's not trivial, because whether we realize it or not, and it's not only about exercise, wherever we're having pains, and, when we imagine growing and improving ourselves in different areas, I know I need a lot of that, and I'm in my different ways, but everywhere there's pain, or lack of confidence and whatnot. It's really a confidence breaker to be so sore for so long.
For sure. No, that'll break you down.
Yeah, it breaks you down.
It'll break you down.
It's not even a joke. It's just like, you're sore. You get into your car. You cannot get up without feeling like your butt is going to disintegrate.
Yeah. And I feel life on that right now because I really do feel like somebody right now is listening to this or is going to listen to this, Rafa, and they are in a lot of pain. And I just want to say we have a lot of empathy. I can say empathy because I've been in a place of pain physically. I know what it's like to feel overweight, to be carrying more weight than my body was created to carry. I know what it feels like to carry pain in my body that at my age I shouldn't be experiencing. And so I just want to say that we really, and you as a coach are one of the most empathetic people I know and sympathetic people I know when it comes to that, and sensitive to that. Really, really do an excellent job of just being super sensitive to where people are, and accepting of where they are. And I really feel like somebody's listening to this and they're saying, oh my gosh, this is really me. Like you're talking about me. And so I want to encourage you, if you're in the Miami area, you can't get a better gym and a better coach than this man right here, like hands down. I recommend him without restraint. You would be, yeah, you'd be getting a treasure in him. But even if you're not in the Miami area, get in touch with him, reach out to him, because that's another thing is that he's exceedingly generous in all the knowledge. This man is a walking encyclopedia when it comes to knowledge about all this stuff. And sometimes he talks like completely over my head, but that's okay. I listen anyway. But but he would. I hope this is okay to say this, but he's really gracious about trying to help people, because that's also one of his gifts, is just being helpful and caring about people and help you get to a place, somewhere, wherever you live, that can help you, because this can change your life. This has changed my life. I can't overemphasize that. I can't exaggerate that.
Good.
Yeah, this has changed my life.
You've done the work. You've done the work. And you know what? It's so, that's why we're talking. Yeah. This is, one of the main ideas behind doing this podcast is that, share what can be done.
Right.
Find answers. Yeah. Not only, because we all have different situations, the work schedules, responsibilities, aspirations and desires and whatnot. There's not going to be a cookie cut answer for everybody. Right. But, here we are having this conversation. You can relate to this. You can, reach out to me, V. Mm-hmm. You're a life coach. Mm-hmm. I am a strength coach. Mm-hmm. It's the only way to help. Mm-hmm. I mean, mm-hmm. it's the main way to help. I mean, right. What else is there to do than share what you know, help. In my case, I help people move in certain ways, develop the skills to continue to improve and be strong. Mm-hmm. Strong, because strong changes your life, man. Yeah. Strong changes your life. This is the story. I think I may have shared this around the gym. Mm-hmm. A few years ago, a client we're in the middle of a session, mm-hmm. A personal training session. Here, not far in a beautiful spot in Florida called Bal Harbor. Beautiful. If you are listening to us from Bal Harbor, you're only a heartbeat away from us. She gets a phone call from a friend that tells her, I'm closing my piano store and there are pianos to be picked up for free. Mm. And she hangs up the phone and tells me, like, you gotta go. You gotta go. It's like, is everything okay? Yeah. I know you have a son and he should have a piano. Mm. And, she tells me the rest of the conversation and whatnot. It's like, no, hold it. Let's finish. I'll do this. I end up canceling everything else I had for the day. Mm-hmm. I go to a U-Haul facility, mm-hmm. rent a truck.
Oh, Lord.
And there were two men that I saw with hammers and whatever this an iron bar, a crowbar, I think it's a crowbar. They had hammers and crowbars, and they were this literally, physically, I saw them hammering pianos down to smash them, to put them in trash bins. You know, those huge construction.
Yeah, the dumpsters.
There might have been 20 pianos on each bin already.
Holy
and there
cow.
were about 10 pianos on the ground. And it's like, one of those is mine. I walk out of there with 4.
Oh my gosh.
4 pianos, because these men didn't want to demolish those pianos. Just on the fact that they were getting paid the same to get rid of them anyhow.
Right.
So it was less work for them.
Yeah.
I drive the pianos to a storage facility, but my friends, you know who you were, no one was there to be found to help me, right away.
Oh.
So I end up having to bring these pianos down off a ramp on my own, 800 plus each piano.
Holy cannoli.
Rolling them down was not essentially the problem. It was when they wanted to go sideways, from left to right. If you are listening to this, you can imagine a moving truck with about a 12-foot ramp and one person rolling down a piano on a dolly, on a dolly truck.
That's crazy.
This thing goes sideways, you can't stop it.
Right.
But here's the thing. By then, I had been lifting barbells very seriously under the starting strength method. And I was stronger than I ever thought I would be.
Wow.
Squat numbers aside, I could roll down a piano with a challenging aspect. And that's when I thought, that's what strength is for.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with, my ego or
It's the practical.
It's the practical application.
Everyday application.
And that's when I knew I needed to start a coaching practice for barbells and actually focusing on making people stronger.
I'm so glad you did.
Because let me tell you, I was sore for about 3 days after rolling 4 pianos down a ramp. It is something that I don't recommend it to anybody. If you're at home rolling down the piano,
don't try this at home.
Stop.
Man.
But it's something that I had to do.
Yeah, in that moment.
Yeah.
And were able to do.
Right, and I were able to do that. One of the pianos, the sad part of the story is that my son only played with the pianos for about 3 months.
That's okay.
One of the pianos was sold, and 3 of those other pianos were donated to a Jewish organization.
Okay.
And that was a blessing because it was just a good thing to do.
Yeah. Well, on the practical note, how about just being able to go to Costco and carry your own case of water? And I live on the 15th floor, and yes, there's an elevator, but I still have to get from the car in the parking lot to the elevator, lower it down, and then once I get off the elevator, my apartment is at the end of the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
And just being able to do that by myself. And, I'm in Costco, lifting up my water. I could buy 3 or 4 cases at a time. I don't know how many pounds that is, but it's, it's a little weight.
Well, I tell you real quick, each little bottle of that, it's 16 ounces.
I don't know.
Right about there, I guess.
Yes. It's probably at least 50 pounds a case.
About a pound a bottle, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, it's heavy. And but I used to not, before this, I could not have done that on my own. I literally, because I can tell you what I did was I would open the case in the trunk of the car, and then I would go get my son's clothes hamper that's on wheels. But I have to go upstairs, get the hamper, bring it down, fill it up with individual bottles, sometimes make 2 trips depending on how many cases I
The
bought.
kind of thing that makes you say, you know what, I'll get that case of water bottles tomorrow or the next time.
Exactly.
But now you do. Now you do when you need
I just grab them. Yeah.
I tell you what.
I don't even think about it.
This is a provocative question. A lot of people might be thinking that you've changed your appearance into looking too muscular for a woman.
Oh.
Because now you're too strong. You're so strong, right? I mean, like, oh my God, she's been lifting weights. Hold it. You've been lifting weights. You can lift the whole case of bottles of water, 40 to 50 pounds. And it's been a year. You must look masculine.
Never. It'll never happen.
Right. But what I'm trying to address that concern. I do want to get stronger, but I don't want to look like a man, kind of thing.
Not happening.
If you're listening and that's your concern, what's your experience?
That's not my experience. I know you said that you can do that and that there are people that want to do that, and that's awesome if that's what they want, because that goes back to what I said earlier. When someone comes to you, you ask them what, in essence,
right?
Maybe not those exact words, but you, in essence, are going to ask them, what do you want? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? And so if that's something they want to do, that's possible. You've told me about, bodybuilders that are like all tone and cut and, whatever. That wasn't my goal. I like being a woman. I like looking feminine. I enjoy it. I appreciate everything there is about it. And I don't ever want to change that. So, but I do like the fact that my arms don't flap when I raise my, I like that they're muscular and toned, I guess is the word. Tone. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That feels good. It looks good. I'm happy.
Great. If you're wondering, if you're just kind of listening to this, let me tell you, I am
my legs.
Impartial and objective observer. You look like a fine woman. So,
well, thank you very much. I received it.
Let's see. I mean, I just wanted to kind of put that out there because it's a really still. I hear that very often.
Well, I just like that stuff doesn't wiggle around anymore.
No.
It stays in its place.
It stays because.
Can I say it like that?
You can say it like that.
Yeah.
Look. Toned arms, toned legs, a toned midsection, which is, anything between your ribs and your hips, all around your waistline. Mm-hmm. When we're talking about tone, a lot of people don't know how to measure that. How do you really measure that? Yeah. Hey, is it because am I more toned because I lost a few pounds? Wait, let's see. How do you measure? Do you measure it in pounds of weight loss? Do you measure it in?
Well, I can answer that.
Tell me.
That's a no, because I know people that don't weigh a lot and they are not toned. At all. Yeah, now you know people like that.
Oh, I know people like that.
You see them on the street and you're like, that person's skinny.
Or
thin.
Or conversely, people that weighed half a ton. Mm-hmm. And they looked very toned.
Yes. Yeah. And people would tell me that a lot, you look great as far, I didn't feel that, but they're like, oh, you carry your weight. That's what it is. You carry your weight well.
Right.
That thing. I'm like, somehow that's not what I'm going for.
And there's a way of saying hello or following up your hellos when you haven't seen somebody for a long time. This is typically very Spaniard type of thing. They call it, te has puesto muy mayor. Which is essentially, you've grown up so much. It's kind of like the same term. You're like, you carry it well. But we go back to that question. What is tone and how do you measure it? Because tone has a certain appearance, and we all know what that looks like, and it looks good.
Especially in your, I mean, it looks good outside your clothes, but it's nice for your clothes to fit you nicely.
Exactly. You fit better inside your own clothes, inside your own projection of your image too. It boils down to, or it enhances your confidence, like we were talking earlier.
Goes with the confidence.
But how do you measure it? Because it's not on your total pounds on the scale.
Right.
But it can be measured.
Oh.
Not straightforward, but it can be measured in the amount of pounds that you lift as per the exercises.
Okay.
Why? Because muscle tone is the residual tension post a muscle contraction.
See, there he goes.
Break it down.
Break it down.
When you make a muscle, when you flex, let's say right now, if you close your hands, close your fingers, clench your fingers, and make a fist. Now, the harder you squeeze your grip, now you can start feeling the muscle of your forearms becoming more contracted, more hard. If you have if you're not as toned as you want to be yet, just dig in a little bit deeper, and you will feel your muscle contracting. Now, when you release your fist and you open your fingers, the contraction is gone.
And it softens.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of biomechanics, and it's not necessarily a straightforward example. It's not apples to apples, but when you train with weights, if you lift a bit heavier, your muscles perky up a bit more than if you lift it lighter. You have to, of course, you have to know how to do that, like we were talking about earlier, safely and effectively,
right? Safely.
And with consistency. But that's what happens. That's what can happen. That's tone. Tone is the effect of your muscles becoming in appearance more hard because you're lifting heavier.
AKA not flabby.
Hashtag not flabby.
Hashtag not flabby, not floppy. Not wiggly and jiggly.
Nah.
Which is nice.
Well, I don't want to miss the opportunity to point where all the where all the grace comes from.
It all comes from him.
It's I'm glad to be here. It's really good to speak with you today like this.
Yes, it's a blessing, Rafa. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Yeah, this is where it all started, like January 2019.
Yes, January 5th, 2019.
Was that right? 2019
no,
or
2020. I'm sorry.
2020. Yeah,
2020.
2020. That's right.
You had passed by in 2019. Just
in December. That's right. And I said I was going to start in January.
Right. And
that's right. And I shared my story with you about how Jesus told me I was going to have strength.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, yes, we have to give him, because this whole thing for me started with somebody speaking over me that they saw me with physical strength in my body, which at that time I didn't have. So I love that has actually happened, that it's come to pass.
Oh yeah.
It's a real thing.
For those out there who like numbers and like to know how much you bench, bro. You mind sharing your numbers? Squat. I know you pretty much specialize on the overhead press. And squat, press, and deadlift. What are your recent numbers?
I think my squat's 125.
Yep.
Is that right? And my deadlift's about the same. I
Okay.
think they're kind of running pair and pair at this point.
Right about
130.
No, I think your deadlift is around 140.
130.
130?
I think I'm 130 on my deadlift. 125 on my squat, going up to 130 this week. And then my press is 45.
Nice.
I want to say, which you know and I know that is a miracle number. Because I didn't even, when I first started, like we started off with the press and then he put me in the geriatric chair, remember? He was like, okay.
What's the geriatric chair?
The geriatric chair, he created this like sloped bench for me.
Okay, right.
Because you were just like, okay, let's just start off slow. So I had the bar, 33 bar or 22 bar maybe even. We started light. Very light. And I was in the geriatric chair, and then slowly but surely, and then at one point I started lifting the press, and I think I got to like 25 pounds, and I was like, I can't do this anymore.
I remember that. It was quite a
it just wouldn't go up.
Yeah. We struggled with the programming a little bit to get past the 20s, the mid-20s. Mid-20s was a bump on the road there. Yeah.
But then we just went the scenic route.
Right. But hold it. There was some setbacks too.
Several.
Yeah, there were several setbacks.
Yeah, so I had to have eye surgery, and that was like 2 weeks of being out, which we knew that was going to happen.
Right.
But still, 2 weeks out of the gym is hard psychologically because you're like, you feel like your body is going backwards. And then COVID happened. Right. I think that was the next one, right?
There was COVID.
Did I have an injury first? Maybe an injury came first.
There was something about the back. There was something about the chest.
Yeah, intercostal muscle happened. I had an injury that I couldn't lift. So I was out for like a week or two recovering from that.
That was post.
That was before COVID.
Something happened when you were walking, though. I think that kind of something came off out of.
It was from my chiropractor.
Oh.
Remember that one?
Right.
So that happened. So I had to recover because each time you get injured, you can't just keep lifting, which I tried that and that didn't work. That made it worse. So I had to wait. Now, mind you, this is like it's one thing to go through that physically, but if you've never done sports, some people that have done sports, you already know what I'm talking about, what you go through mentally when you can't do the thing you want to do physically. But oh my goodness, that is some serious overcoming. It takes some serious overcoming. I learned that. And so I did that. So that was the second setback. And then just when I thought it was all good again, COVID happened.
Right.
And then we were all out of the gym and we were all boo-hooing. I mean, that was horrible, especially at the beginning. We were just like, what?
Yeah,
we didn't know what to do.
There was I don't think anybody knew what to do anyhow because, we had been not understanding what this thing was for the most part.
Right.
For the most part. I mean, don't get me started with my conspiracies.
No, don't get started. That's for another podcast.
That's for another podcast. But, you and I should come back and and swim in conspiracy waters.
Lord.
No, that's just for fun. That's just for fun, guys.
Just for fun.
But I remember we had been monitoring and paying attention to the emergency proclamations, the local ones and somewhere else. And, California, the epicenters, California, New York, and whatnot. By the time I remember that my dad had been in town here in Miami at the beginning of March 2020.
Right.
And he left a few days when they ordered the quarantine.
Right.
I was here sitting in this very room. It was March 19, 2020, when the hard order from the mayor. Do we have a new mayor right now?
I don't know.
I don't know. But the mayor back then, or current mayor, whatever, he issued the quarantine order. And, we all got groceries for 15 days. And the rest is history.
Right.
I do have to say, though, I was fortunate enough to find enough paper towel. I still have paper towel and toilet paper. I have not run out of toilet paper.
Oh my gosh. But when we finally got to come back from COVID, I just remember the sentiment here in the gym. Like, we missed each other so much. We missed you. We missed being able to work it out. And you could feel it.
Yeah.
You could feel like there was just this atmosphere of like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad to see you again. So glad to be here again. Yeah, it was pretty emotional.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's emotional. I tell you, and if you own your small business or something like that, or operate as a consultant freelancer of sorts, the world shut down, man. Yeah. The world shut down, and
the fact that you survived it, Rafa, oh my gosh, that also speaks volumes to the favor of God, yes, but also who you are, because you're still here, and so many, even just in our little neighborhood right here, didn't make it.
I don't have I'm getting charged right now, let's put it that way. I don't have the words to really explain how that happened. Because I tell you, financially,
doesn't make sense, does it?
It does not make sense.
Doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up. I take the opportunity to thank my family. I take the opportunity to thank Anna and everyone who supported me beyond what they could imagine. With even beyond, or what it's. I just don't have the words. And the members who were not slow to come back, and some of the members who never even stopped coming or paying their membership dues. There's a few of those out there. F. Gonzalez, you know who you are. You went above and beyond all throughout.
Wow, that makes me want to cry.
Some people that rented equipment so that they can continue doing what they were doing, but also supporting the gym. So bills can be paid and whatnot.
Yeah, wow.
It was such a blessing and a humbling experience that I don't have the words. All I want to say is thank you to everybody. And here we are, 2021.
Because you are essential. Period. No comma.
Yeah.
And you always will be.
Yeah, that's a nerve. That's a chord. The whole essentiality of things. But hey.
But you are essential. And that's why you're still here.
Yeah. But strength is essential. Strength is essential. Yeah. People are going to find strength wherever they can develop it.
Yeah, but we found strength in you. And thank you I just want to personally say thank you for being strong for me.
Tú sabes who's that? You know who's
Yeah,
that?
I know.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, I know.
That's where it
But
comes
thank
from.
you for partnering
Um,
with him in that. Yep. It's been a wild ride.
Being a wild ride. V, we have to do this again.
Yes,
Soon.
anytime. You know I'm right down the street. So anytime you want to do this, I'm in. This is so fun. I love doing this.
Awesome. For those of you who have been here through the end, you can email Viola Jackson at
Taste, TASTE, like taste and CSEA, all one word, 34 at gmail.com. And I would love to, if you are in need of coaching, life coaching services, and I know a lot of people have been hit hard, their confidence has been hit hard through COVID. You know, you feel like you've been set back in some way, whether it's financial or your confidence. And one of the things that I love to do is help people get clarity on their life purpose, like why you are essential, why you are here. Because I find that when everything that's being shaken is being shaken, like we experienced in 2020, and I think that is one of the things that also is why you're still here, because you have such a clear vision of what your purpose is, Rafa. You know what you were created and called to do. And I think that has navigated you so well through the storm, is you were able to stay focused and not get distracted and totally, everybody you felt the jerk, you felt it. It's not like you don't feel it, but it gives you something to hold on to and to get through that storm, to go through it and not end up a shipwrecked, and so that's what I love. I'm passionate about helping people find what that is for themselves, and I think it's going to be needed in the future. And it's also a season of people like reinventing themselves, because the reality is people lost jobs, lost income, lost employment, lost loved ones, all kinds of loss and grief that we're walking through right now. But there's hope.
There's hope. And
there is hope.
Perspective. People have lost perspective because things have shifted so much,
And it's so unpredictable and uncertain for tomorrow even. Right. It's like, so now what?
So some of the conversations that we continue to have, we talked about, especially, when it was recent, it was devastating for all of us to say, you're not essential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I could tell that really.
How do you wake up one day, regardless of what's out there in the streets, and you're not essential? Look, if for a lack of a better way of saying this, find another way of saying it.
It's definitely a low blow.
Yeah, it's a low blow. And I think from what I've seen as a small business owner, and the atmosphere, sort of the current weather or climate out there, people are dusting off and coming out again, and moving forward with life. Mm-hmm. But I know that through our conversations, you helped me a lot to navigate that. Understanding what I was doing. I tell you, I am a person of conviction, and my conviction is rooted in my faith. I call it my personal faith, because we all believe in different things, and but ultimately and fundamentally, love and peace and compassion and effort and things are universal values and universal constants, and I think we all share that in commonality, day in, day out.
Yes, exactly.
So I think I'm paraphrasing some of your words.
Well,
I just wanted
beautiful.
to take the chance to resonate a little bit for those of who are listening and are wondering, what life coaching and coaching in general sounds like. You and I have had hours of conversations, and more than that, through sharing of our beliefs more in a personal note, and our faith. And I have been constructed by your presence, by our sharing together. And I have been built up. You have built me up too.
Thanks.
And that is not going unnoticed. And I want everybody to know. Thank you. Thank you as well, V.
Thank you. I received that. That's really special to me. It means a lot to me because I think, if there's one thing that I can do for anybody else is encourage them. If I can encourage somebody to move forward, and to keep going and to not quit and not give up, and that there is hope. I always want to be that voice, that person that gives hope and courage.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So, with courage and hope, this is the second episode, and
we avoided the whole conspiracy conversation.
Yes, we did. No conspiracy. Next time, maybe.
Maybe. Stay tuned.
Get ready for your pianos.
Oh.
See you soon.